What's up, it's you for today's video with a full explosion team. It has been a long time since I've done an explosion video. 9 years ago I did one. 4 years ago I did one, and I've had quite a few comments asking for another one, so I thought, you know what? Let's blow it up and do it. Now, this team is going to be a little bit different than my last ones because there's a couple more Pokemon there. There's new mechanics in the game, so I thought I'd mix things up and do another one with some different Pokemon. I've got 6 battles today. I really hope you enjoy them. This took me a while to get the footage for this because obviously using exploding moves is going to make for a difficult, even to win a battle or get reasonably close to trying winning. So it took a long time, but I really hope you enjoyed. If you enjoy these videos, people, you want to support the channel, hit that like button and let's get into it. So first battle here we have, I'm not really sure of my opponent's trainer name. Maybe someone could translate that. They brought 3 Pokemon to this battle, so I guess they were fairly confident they wouldn't need the rest of their team. So we've got a Speed Boost Sword Dance Blaziken here. I've never seen this set in my life, and I'm going to be going for a trick here. So I thought it would probably have something annoying like Sash, so I went for a trick and gave it a ring target. This was more for actually trying to swap my ring target to Ghost-type Pokemon, but in this case, I didn't need it. Well, at least I hoped I didn't, right? Unless they had Terra Ghost or something. So, Azelf is going to swap out here, and we're going to go into Golem Alola. More on that Azelf set a little bit later on. So Blaziken is going to go for another Sword Dance here. I thought they may try and get some more protection up there. It's good to use protection. And now I'm going to swap out my Golem because I'm very, very scared of a fighting move. So swapping out the Golem, going into Screamtail here. This is a pretty interesting set too. It's a special attacking set, and it's also got a boost of energy. So I deliberately made it so it would get a special attacking boost set. Now we've got a little Tippy Terra here from the opponent, and it's going to be Terra fighting Blaziken. So you know this is going to have something like close combat. What did I protect? Close combat, Sword Dance, and I wasn't really sure what the other move was. It might be like a fire move, like Flare Blitz or something like that. Anyway, I'm going to be able to take that close combat pretty well, considering this is a fairly bulky Pokemon. Now, this set, I will get to explain this a little bit more because I'm going to get cooked off by Flare Blitz. I'm like, man, I'm in a really, really bad position at the moment. Am I going to get swept here by this Blaziken? I got to take it out. So what I'm going to do after it gets another speed boost is go into my Golem. So this Golem was a Focus Sash set. So we got Explosion. Now, it's got the ability Galvanize. What Galvanize does, it makes normal type moves become electric type, and it also gives it a 1.2 times power boost. So it's really, really good for an electric explosion or electric move if it's like high base power normal, right? It was really good against water type Pokemon as well. So I had the Focus Sash here, luckily, and now we're going to go for our first Explosion on the Blaziken. Now I know they don't have a Focus Sash, and they've done some damage themselves with Flare Blitz anyway. That is the end of that. So that's Blaziken down. That's 1 Pokemon down, and there's 2 more to go. Now, the next Pokemon they're going to bring in here is going to be Sceptile. So you can probably see what team they're going to bring here. You're seeing the thing they had in the team preview. They had like 3 legendaries, and they had like 3 starters. So they brought their 3 starters along. So we've got a Sceptile here. I've got this Misty Boom set. So all the nicknames are based on the strategy I'm running here. So this Anamara set was Misty Terrain, Misty Explosion. So when you got Misty Terrain up there, it actually boosts Misty Explosion by 1.5 times power there. This is Terra Fairy, and it's got a Fairy Feather as the item, max special attack and max speed, modest nature. Unfortunately, set down a freaking Focus Sash as well, so I was like, man, is this whole team going to be Focus Sash? So that's the end of my my Anamorous. So I brought in my Azumarill. This is a Sap Sipper set, so this was really good that I had that. Otherwise, I would have got Shrek. And we're going to go for the Misty Explosion here. Now, this team actually has multiple strategies. They're all based on blowing up and stuff, but it's exploding in different ways, right? So that's going to be the end of the Sceptile there. More on that Azumarill set a little bit later on. And the last Pokemon is the Swampert here. So like, all right, if this Swampert has a Focus Sash, I'm going to I'm gonna explode. So this is a taught self-destruct skill swap trick set. This is designed to sort of work against any counters. I went for Self-Destruct, and the Swampert had the damp ability, like the one counter to any exploding move. So I couldn't believe my bad luck here, so I had to go for skill swap. So I gave the Swampert Levitate, and I got damp. However, I can't use Self-Destruct yet, because it actually fails if any Pokemon on the field still had the damn ability. So I swapped out here. I went into Tiny Boom, which was my Morsold. I knew they'd go for an Earthquake or some sort of ground type or water type move here, and I know I could probably live one. So this was a double swap here back into like a Zelf. And I was like, I hope they go for Earthquake again. I got the free swap in because I got my Levitate ability back. And then here, I was actually able to go for a Terra Normal Self-Destruct. I was hoping this was going to be, enough to take out the Swampert, right? Because Swampert's got some really, really good defense. I mean, Azelf's got a good attack stat, but Swampert is very, very thick on the defensive side. So go for that Terra Normal as Zelfie, and we're going to go for that Self-Destruct on the Swampert, and Swampert just lives. You wouldn't read about it. Then I was like, wait. I've got one more Pokemon left, but it doesn't have an exploding move. It's only got Copycat. It went for Flip Turn instead. I was like, if that went for Earthquake, right? I would have lost here, right? Because I've only got Copycat. So I go like Copycat Explosion. So I went for the Copycat, and I Copycated the last move of the field, which is Flip Turn. And that's the end of the Swampert. I actually ended up winning. I took a bit of Rocky Helmet damage here on the Morsold, and I got the W, and I got a salty, salty Rage Quit there after losing to an exploding team. Man, they were absolutely salty. Like, that switch just got smashed into the floor. Let's get on to battle number 2 here, people. This is a battle against Kieran, and we have a Pelipper lead. My first Pokemon is going to be the Enamorus. Now, this is a Terra Fairy set, as I mentioned before, and we've got a Pelipper lead. So this was a rain team I was versing, and I was like, man, I don't know how well I'm going to go against this team, right? So I'm going for Calm Mind. They're going to go for U-turn here. I was maybe expecting, I don't know, like a Hydro Pump or something like that, or a Hurricane, and they brought Clamorath. I don't know what that even means. I have no idea if this is a nickname for the Pokemon or it's another. I think it might be another language, actually. I'm not quite sure. Anyway, so I'm going to go for a Terra Fairy here because I'm thinking I smell an Electroshock a mile away. The rain team. This move here, and they're going to go for a Terra the same turn as I did. It's like, oh, okay, is this going to be like Terra or Electric or something like that? And it turned out to be Stellar. So I was like, okay, that's interesting. I guess it works with all the different moves that Archaludin gets. So I went for Misty Terrain here. I really need to boost the power of this because I thought, it's a Steel-type Pokemon. It's going to resist this, right? So I went for that, and then they went for the Electroshock. So since it's raining, it's going to activate right away, so they're going to get their little special attack boost. But I did have a Calm Mind up already, and I was no longer a flying type too, so that actually really, really helped out, in terms of damage calculation here. I mean, trust me, it did a lot of damage, but I definitely would have fainted if I was still that type. So now I can go for the Misty Explosion. The Misty Terrain is actually going to affect me now, and that is going to do some whopping damage there, since it's not going to be resisted anymore, and no Sturdy, thank goodness, and that is the end of both Pokemon on the field. We be exploded here, so Archaludin and Enamorus are down. Next Pokemon's going to be my Booster Boom, so this is my Booster Energy set. This is Misty Explosion, Misty Terrain, Wish, and Fake Tears. So we got a Kingdra coming out here. This is Max Health and Max Special Attack, Modest Nature. I also had a lower special defensive set. I think this was like 13 IVs in special defense, and then I had like, I think I only had a little bit in, I think it was less than 20 in speed too. So this took a while to get a Scream Tail like this. So I'm going to go for the Misty Explosion. This is like a critting Kingdra set with Sniper, and it did a lot of damage to me with Flash Cannon. I probably should have gone for a Misty Explosion earlier on there, but still both Pokemon fainted. So it's good, it's quality. Next Pokemon's going to be Beartic. I don't know what's Grizzly. I know Grizzly Bear, but I know what Grizzly Adam is. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure of that reference. Anyway, it's going to be like a Swift Swim Beartic. I lived on 2 health. You wouldn't read about it, and I actually managed to get a Self-Destruct off here. That was a crazy live. I don't even know how how I lived that. And that is a crit too on the bear tick as Elf is down, and so is bear tick. Man, that was a momentous turn there. Next Pokemon we got here is going to be Electric Boom, which is my Golem. They're going to send in their Dondozo. I'm like, man, this is perfect. I can go for an explosion here, and it's going to be super effective. So Dondozo unloads a liquidation on the Golem. I managed to live that one fairly well, you know, due to Golem's good base defense there, and that is going to be the end of Dondozo. You don't get to see Dondozo feign in one shot very often from a physical move, right? So that's another double KO there. Next Pokemon is the Pelipper from before. This had probably like Hurricane and Hydro Pump and, you know, stuff like that. I used Copycat with my Morsalt, and I copied the last move, which is Explosion. I used the miniest explosion in the world. Look at that, it's like boop, and that's going to be enough with the normal gem, you know, to easily be able to take out the Pelipper. So that was awesome. I managed to get that off beautifully. So Pelipper is down, Morsalt is down. There's only one Pokeball left, and we've got Azumarill. So I'm like, oh great, Azumarill can go Copycat, but it was a Ditto. I was like, no, and the Ditto didn't have Imposter either. It used Transform, right? So I'm thinking, okay, it's got to be Choice Scarf, right? Most 100% of the Dittos, well, 99% will run Choice Scarf. So I went for Soak because I didn't want to use Misty Explosion and faint myself, and they kept using Soak over and over too. So they only had 5 PP to work with, because when Ditto transforms, it only has 5 PP. So we went through all that one. Eventually, the Azumarill that I was versing, or the Ditto that I was versing, actually started struggling here, and Struggle was actually doing a good amount of damage to me. I'm like, oh man, I don't know whether I'm going to be able to live this, you know, so I'm going for Misty Straight. There was nothing I could do. I wanted to try and win this battle, right, to win by, with the struggle damage to it feign itself first. So this Ditto's going for the struggle, and it critted me on the second one. Like, no. That was a mega crit there, and pretty much on the third struggle here, the Azumarill took me out. Like, man, I know that I could live another one there. I don't know what would happen if that didn't get crit. It actually might have been a draw, but a crazy battle there anyway. I'm pretty salty that Ditto didn't have Imposter though, because that actually used up a turn. Anyway, let's get on to the third battle. If you're enjoying the video so far and you want to support the channel, make sure you hit that like button. Leave me a comment there below. I'm gonna eat my breakfast and watch all these comments. Give me some feedback. Do you like these battles? So anyway, we got a Flygon here, and that is a direct counter to my Golem. This was actually a really crazy battle. So we had the Flygon using Earthquake. I'm not sure of my opponent's trainer name either. And I thought, all right, well, I'll set up the Misty Terrain here. The Misty Terrain didn't always obviously work with the with my Pokemon here being, the flying type as well, but it did benefit my Azumarill at the same time. So the Flygon's going to use Screech. I'll give them props for Screech on that set. Most of the time, you see, Dragon Dance. I went for the Misty Explosion here. I really wanted to take out Flygon because it was a pretty good counter to my Golem. It was hard to know when they were going to swap it into, and that's going to be the end of the Enamorous and the Flygon. So that's 2 Pokemon gone. That's 1 Flygon. Get it? That's 1 Flygon. Next Pokemon we got here is Golem. The coast is clear to go for a big boom. It reminds me of that song, boom, boom, boom. I want you in my room. Does anyone remember that song? Man, I'm probably too old. Anyway, so the next Pokemon we got is going to be Grafaiai, and we got that. It used Doodle. It used Doodle and copied my my Galvanize. So we're going to go for Explosion here. I'm hoping it doesn't have like a troll item or anything, and that is the end of that. Both Pokemon are going to explode. That Golem was max attack and max speed, adamant nature. Thunder Wave, Screech, Rock Polish, and Explosion. Now the Gengar came out. This is really worrying me in the team preview. Like, all right, I can't use. I need to trick this Pokemon that Ring Target, right? Or I need to use Misty Explosion, but I also need to, see what they're going to do. So I swapped in a Azumarill. It's a Parasong Gengar. So oh man, this could be a chance to maybe take it out. Maybe it's not so offensive. It's more of a stalling set. Then Gengar swapped out and they went into Raichu, and I did want to, I did want to Raichu a love song there because that Azumarill that was going down. So we swapped in Azumarill. Then I swapped in Azelf. I swapped it back. I did a lot of swapping here because I was trying to wait for that Gengar. I didn't want to waste my Azelf either. So we swapped in the Scream Tail here. It's floating at the moment, and this is going to use Plain Ice. I'm like, what is this Raichu set? I'll give the opponents some props here. They actually had some really, really cool sets. They had like Screech Earthquake Flygon, and there's some Plain Ice Raichu. So we're going to get that Misty terrain up, which is going to, help me with the damage here. And we got Iron Tail. It's a physical set. Plain Ice Iron Tail. So then they swapped out their Raichu, right? And then they went back at a Gengar. So I'm like, all right, they've got the type advantage here. I went for Fake Tears on Raichu anyway, because I didn't want to, I didn't want to risk anything. Then the Gengar's going to go for Parasong again. So I thought, all right, if I could get three Fake Tears on this Gengar, then explode, this should be okay, right? Because Gengar's not like a super bulky Pokemon. I'm at +1 at the moment. I'm using a powerful move. This should be enough, unless it's got like something like Focus Sash. So then he used a physical set. Nice. Shadow Claw critted me, and then I went for another Fake Tears. I'm like, all right, I'm ready to explode, baby. So we've got 2 counts of Parasong left here on the field, right? Then I went for a Terra. I had to bury this Gengar. This might have, I don't know, this might have been overkill, but I had to get rid of Gengar because I was like, man, I don't know whether Azel's going to be able to, do its role here. So I went for the Terra Fairy, and it used Reflect type. I'm like, after all of that, it changed its type. You wouldn't read about it. So it turned into a Fairy type. I don't know what this set was. This person was cooking. Anyway, so I went for the Misty Explosion here on the Gengar. And that was easy enough to take out, obviously. So what was that Gengar set? Parasong, Shadow Claw, Reflect type. I wonder what the other move was. That sounds like a PIMPNITE special. Anyway, that's Gengar down. Next Pokemon is going to be Overkill. I was like, man, I don't know. This thing's pretty tanky. So I'm going to Azelf, and I've got Self-Destruct here. So I'm going for Self-Destruct. I'm hoping it takes it out, and it failed. I'm like, oh, that was so close. So that's the end of the Azelf. I'm like, all right, that's fair. But the problem is, with Copycat, the last move used was now Pin Missile. So I went into More Salt, I copycatted the last move, which I wanted to be Self-Destruct, but it was Pin Missile, and Pin Missile was enough to take out the Overkill. That was a pretty funny animation. So Overkill's down. So we've got Raichu left, and we got Gardevoir, the Rampaging. I think that was it. So I swapped out Tiny Boom. I thought maybe we can go for a Misty Explosion here. So Gardevoir's going to go for Metronome. Like, oh, they went for Metronome set here. So here comes a Yawn. I was like, wait a second. If I go for Misty Terrain here, I can stop my Azumarill getting drowsy, So here comes another Metronome. It used tea time. Man, I love a good tea, right? My favorite tea is English breakfast, It tastes really, really, really nice. Keeps me awake, keeps me alert, and it tastes really good. The best thing is you get a biscuit and you just dunk it in it. Man, that's the best. Anyway, so I actually got some good protection there by the mist, and I thought, well, I can't really do a lot here. I best go for a Misty Explosion. So the Gardevoir got Sweet Scent, which is going to drop my evasiveness, which doesn't really matter at all. And I managed to get a Misty Explosion off here. Now, this Azumarill was max attack and max special attack. So even with its special attack EVs, it doesn't really have a lot of special attack. So I was thinking, okay, the best I can do is go for Copycat and go for a Misty Explosion. But since this doesn't have any special attacking EVs, it's like, nah, bruh, it's not going to do much damage. So I'm exploding. That was a big explosion, and Gardevoir took 2 damage. And that's it, people. I tried my very best, but I think it started going all wrong when Overkill lived that attack right. That's where it went like really, really pear-shaped. Let's get on to battle number 4. This is a battle against Cyprian, or I don't know how to say that. And we got a Lola lead here. So we got a Golem versus a Lola. Pretty good matchup. Mamambo. Oh, Mamambo. That's a name for a Lola, because like, think about a Lol's name. A Lola like that. And that's like, man. That must be a different language for sure. That's got to be something like, that's got to be a French name. Anyway, so that's going to be the end of the Alola. Dropped it in one shot. They set up a safeguard there too. Maybe they thought I was going to use a status move, but that's the end of both Pokemon. So not a bad start there. I got rid of a really bulky Pokemon. Actually, this team was really, really bulky. Next Pokemon's going to be Clefable, so I thought this time with Azumarill, I could go for Copycat. So see what I can do with this Azumarill set. I can either go for a normal gem explosion, or I can go for Misty Explosion, depending on the Pokemon, right? If the Pokemon's really bulky in defense, I'll go for a Misty Explosion. And, something like, I'd probably only do that against something like, I don't know what's terrible, like Stonjourner or something like that. A Pokemon that has high defense and really low special defense. Anyway, that's a double KO there. Next Pokemon's going to be Pour Me Defer. Did I get that right? Port me defer. I think I nailed it. Anyway, we got them big hands. They're gonna clap them cheeks. That did a lot of damage. That did a heap of damage on my my Pokemon. So I just went for Misty Explosion because I didn't want to risk anything at all. This Pokemon hits very, very hard. Plus, it was super effective as well. So that's 3 booms in a row and 3 KOs. So things are going well at the moment. Things are going real well. Now, the next Pokemon we're going to swap is going to be Tricky Boom, which is mine. Now, watch this. This was fire, right? So we got a Sinister, another Ghost Pokemon. It's like, all right, I'm going to go for Terra Normal, right? But I'm not only going to go for Terra Normal to get her to boost my Self-Destruct. I'm going to go for that because I'm expecting a Ghost type move like Shadow Ball, right? It makes sense. So I've got this. This was a great counter for Ghost Pokemon because I go Terra Normal. The Ghost move wouldn't affect me, and that would give me a turn to go for Trick and Ring Target. So it worked absolutely perfectly. So I got a Life Orb, which is good too, and they're enjoying that Ring Target. So I wanted to mess with them a little bit more here, even if at the cost of losing a Pokemon. So I went for Taunt. I'm like, I wonder if they got Calm Mind or something like that. Then they went for the Strength stat, so they tried to drop my attacks. I'm like, all right, that's enough messing with them. Let's go for Self-Destruct before they swap or something like that. And that's going to be the end of the Sinister and the Azov at the same time. Man, that was perfect. Like, that was such a great counter for Ghost Pokemon because it would not only draw out Ghost Pokemon due to its Psychic type, but the Terra Normal would allow me to get that perfect Ring Target swap. Now we've got the Ogerpon coming out here, which is Ogerpon Wellspring, and I had my Morsold. The only thing I was worried about here, if I didn't get the outspeed with Morsold, I would probably, if I lived, I'd get the signature move, and I didn't want that, right? So I went for the Copycat. Thank goodness I went first, and Morsold is going to use Self-Destruct. That was like, it was a tiny little Self-Destruct. It's like, boop. And I got the normal gem there, and that was enough to take out the Ogerpon Wellspring. Plus, they used up their Terror as well. So like, this is great. So all that's left now is one Pokemon, and I've got one Pokemon. So, all right, I have to get a draw here. My goal is to get a draw, right? So next Pokemon is Ursa King. Oh, that's a good game. Ursa King. So I've got that special attack boost, but I was like, man, this could have it could have like a funky item or something like that. So I went for the Fake Out. So I want to get another special defense drop. They're gonna go for the Blood Moon here. That does a good chunk of my health. I'm like, nah, I can't take another one of them. They try to follow it up with a Vacuum Wave to try and get the dub there without me fainting. However, it did nothing. I'm gonna resist that easy peasy. And Misty Explosion hitting this thing like a truck at -2 in special defense is enough to take both of us out at the same time. So there we go. A complete draw, but since I fainted first, technically I lost the battle, but still a great battle there. Everything sort of fell in place, especially with that Azov. That was awesome. Let's get on to the battle number 5. This one is against Super Bowser. We have an entire team of Scatterbug. I wasn't going to lose to a Scatterbug team there. All right, first Pokemon, we're going to Scatterbug. I know this surprised you. We're going to go for Self-Destruct. So Scatterbug 4 is down, right? So as you can judge from the nicknames, there's going to be 6 Scatterbug. Now, I'm kind of curious what their item's going to be, too. Like, you never know, right? Like, my audience does like to troll me. Now, the next one is going to be Scatterbug number 2. Now, Scatterbug number 2 here outsped me. It was a Choice Scar Scatterbug only on PIMPNITE Shadow. So I had a bit of a problem here. I was like, man, I'm going to have to go for Tackle. So I got that Pure Power Tackle, and it still didn't take out the Scatterbug. So then I was like, you know what? I ain't losing to the Scatterbug team. So I set that Misty terrain up. The salt was starting to build a little bit. And then I went for the Misty Explosion because I wanted to make doubly sure that, this Scatterbug, you know how bulky it is, right? We was going to faint. So Scatterbug 2 is officially down. So that's 2 bugs down. And we got 4 Pokemon left. So that was a good Choice Scarf Scatterbug. People remember that one. Remember it. So we're going to bring in the Enamorous Scatterbug number 1. I'm going to go for Misty Explosion here. I knew that this thing wouldn't be able to outspeed. Even with the Choice Scarf, there's no way. Scatterbug 1 is down. So I'm kind of curious what all the items are going to be. So the next one to come out is thinking, well, I've got my Booster Boom, so let's use that now while the Misty Terrain is on the field. And out comes Scatterbug number 3. Now, it's got an air balloon. It's like, what the heck is this? So I got a special attack boost there. We're going to need all our stat boosts to take out the mighty Scatterbug. You know what I'm saying? So I go first with Misty Explosion, which is good. I guess it didn't really matter because this wasn't a copycat set. And that's going to take Scatterbug 3 out. So I'm like, okay, this is looking good. We can get the draw here. I'm not losing to a little worm, right? So that's 4 little worms down. There's 2 more left. There's been no terrors yet. Next Pokemon we got is a Lola Goal. I'm like, all right, I can go for Explosion here. This will be perfect. I know they don't let Protect, so I can't get trolled. I went for Rock Polish just in case, so I'm boosting that speed, right? Scatterbug goes for a Bug Bite. I'm like, okay, fair enough. It doesn't learn a lot of moves, so I'm like, okay, that's fine. The Mist disappears here. So I'm like, all right, let's go for Explosion. Hopefully there's no Focus Sashes or anything like that, and I'm going for the Explosion. Scatterbug 5 lives. I'm like, no, it was a Focus Sash Scatterbug, right? But then, right, I looked closely at the item. It was a Focus Burn, and it lived. I was like, come on, they rolled. That was so lucky. So then I went for Copycat, but the problem was, right, the last move they used was Bug Bite, so I had to go for a Bug Bite more so. It was a disaster. So I'm like, right, I gotta beat this Scatterbug with Bug Bite and not take a fat L. So we've got a Terra Scatterbug here. This is probably the first time you've ever seen this in your life. So we've got a Terra Bug Scatterbug. And man, I was, you know, the sweat was starting to, you know, fall from my face here. You know, I was getting a little bit sticky underneath the shirt here, and I went for Tidy Up because I'm like, all right, well, I've got to copycat the last move, so I'll boost my stats, and then obviously it's gonna have Bug Bite, right? So I'll use that. So boosting up my stats here, which is good, and it's gonna go for the Terra Bug Bite. Now this did some incredible damage. It's like, I'd say it's a 5-hit KO. So I went for Copycat. I got the Bug Bite off here, which is good. Great damage. Oh, it's called Mega Me as well. So then I went for Stun Spore. I'm like, wait, that's bad. Because now I'm totally reliant on what the Scatterbug uses. So I was like, all right, if I go for Tidy Up here, then I can copy the next attacking move, you know, if they use that right. But the problem is, if I do get paralyzed, that's bad, because then I've got to copy the next move. So I got paralyzed this time. I'm like, no, that's so bad. Then they use Bug Bite again. I'm like, man, I'm not losing to a Scatterbug. So I don't even know why I went for a Terra here. I think I was just salty and went for a Terra. I was like, all right, we'll go for a Terra normal. It's going to change the battle so much, and hopefully we can get that W right. I don't want to lose to a Scatterbug. I wish I had a normal type move to use it. So here we go. We're going for that Copycat Bug Bite, and I finally got it off. I didn't get paralyzed this turn, and we took out the mighty Scatterbug. Man, that was a close call. I beat a Scatterbug in a children's game of Pokemon. That's got to deserve a like, surely. Anyway, I hope you're enjoying the battle so far. Let's get on to our sixth battle of today's video, a sixth and final battle. I have a couple of battles here, a couple of fun battles here to finish off the video. This is a battle against Joshua Piles, and we have a really cool battle. We got an Explosion team versus a fully Metronome team. Anything could happen. So Infernape's going to be starting off there with a Zing, a Zappity Zap, but that's not going to do a lot of damage. I went for a Rock Polish here because I thought, I'm going to see if I can outspeed Infernape, you know? Then I can go for a Boom. But since, you know, this Infernape is a really fast Pokemon, and Golem, I guess, is not, you know, not really fast, even after a Rock Polish. So it actually got a critical with Hyper. I'm like, nah, I can't, I'm not going to try and mess around anymore, because this is liable to pull out, like, you know, Hydro Pump or something like that, and that's going to be the end of the Infernape. So a quality start there, getting rid of Infernape. Like, that could, any super effective physical move, that could have ended me. Next Pokemon, we've got the homie Ludicolo, and we're going to go into Azumarill. So I'm ready to go for a Boom here. But things happen, right? Ludicolo outsped me, and it got a Trop Kick off, and of course, you're probably wondering, this, I actually went between Huge Power and Sap Sipper. Early on I tried going for Sap Sipper, but later on I sort of tried, you know, with the Huge Power. It did better damage most of the time. So I would have loved to have Sap Sipper there, but it didn't work. So watch this animation. Ready? Holy smoke, so man, that was like slow-mo. But my screen went black, what the heck? Anyway, so Misty Terrain, I thought, I'll set this up. I've got to try and take this Ludicolo out, but if I go for Copycat, I can Copycat the Metronome. All I got to do is get some kind of move, hopefully, you know, and then it got Head Smash. I'm like, wait a second, I lived the Head Smash, right? This thing must have no attack EVs. And then I went for a Copycat Head Smash as well with Huge Power. This actually was enough to take out the Ludicolo, but the recall damage was enough to take out the Azumarill at the same time. But at least I took the Ludicolo out. So I was like, man, you know, I'm wiping the sweat away here. Now, the next Pokemon to come out is Dragonite. It's a disgusting green pickle shiny. Like, you know, trolls do this on purpose. And the next Pokemon we got is going to be Misty Boom. So I thought, all right, let's use Imprison, because I really wanted them to use Metronome and then get a move they couldn't use. And also, like, there's this prison meme going all the time. So we got Vice Grip, that's pretty cool. And I decided to go for the Calm Mind here. I thought, let's go for Calm Mind, boost up my special attack. I know this Dragonite will probably have multi-scale, right? Not that it probably matters with such a powerful move. Then the Dragonite goes for another metronome here, and it got Circle Throw. So Circle Throw actually ejects me out of the battle. And, you know, I lose all my boost and everything too. So I got forcibly swapped in here. So like, dang, this sucks. So watch this, right? So let's go for skill swap. I'm going to get rid of that multi-scale. Then I might get rid of the item because you had to watch out because like trolls would put on like, you know, really cruel items like Focus Band and stuff. So here comes another metronome from the Dragonite, and Dragonite gets powder. So I'm like, please don't get frozen. So I didn't get frozen. I wasn't letting it go, and the mist is going to disappear. Anyway, so I had to swap this out. Then I swapped back into my Misty Boom, right? Do you like that Misty Boom? And all my nickname related to my movesets. Then it used Eerie Impulse. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. So that dropped my special attack harshly. So I at least needed to get one Calm Mind off here to be able to take out the Dragonite. So Dragonite obviously didn't have multi-scale anymore, so I'd be able to hit it with a fat Misty Explosion and then hopefully take it out. So here's another attack from the Dragonite. It's going to be Seismic Toss. I'm like, nah, I have to attack now. First Enamorous on the moon. Going for that Misty Explosion there. I like Misty Explosion. A pretty cool animation, and that is going to be enough to take out the Dragonite. Thank goodness it was super effective. That helped out a lot. So that's the end of Enamorous and the end of the Shiny Pickle Dragonite. So next Pokemon we're going to bring is going to be my Morsol, because I'm going to try and go for Explosion. But watch this, right? I was like, man, this thing's going to have Prankster. You know that it's going to have Prankster, right? So this is a Prankster Illuminous City, Luminous, and it's going to go for a Metronome Toxic. And I'm like, bro, the Toxic stalling me, you know? So you just pretend it's a Toxapex. So we got this Azelf here, right? I was thinking, I could go for Self-Destruct, but I don't know what item it has. So then the Illuminous went for another one, and then it got Charm. I'm like, oh, hell no, because like that's going to drop my attack. If this thing's got any bulk to it all, it's going to be bad. Then I went for a Trick and Trick Mist. I'm like, this is holding Bright Powder. Oh no, this is this is really bad. So in that Bright Powder, my attack was -2. I was like, nah, I'm swapping out of that, bugger that. So I went into Booster Boom, and then right, I got that Booster Anti. So I'm going to take this Illuminous out now, you know what I'm saying? So I got that special attack boost, right? Then the Illuminous went for another Metro, right? And guess what move they got? They got Trop Kick, another Trop Kick, Herba Mystica, and then that dropped my attack again. So if you can imagine, if my Azelf stayed into all of that, it would have had -3 in attack. So that would have been bad. So it got slashed this turn. I was like, let's set the Misty Terrain up just in case it's got some, it's kind of thick. So we're setting that Misty Terrain up this turn. I'm ready to explode. I was like, just in case I don't want to lose to Illuminous, I'll go Fake Tears. Then the Mighty Illuminous gets Explosion versus my Explosion team. It's the tiniest explosion ever. And it does no damage at all. That is pretty bad luck getting Explosion with a Pokemon with like 2 attacks. So I was like, man, that was so lucky, right? So that's the end of the threatening Pokemon. I need to do an Illuminous guide. I know how many people want to see that. It's really popular Pokemon. So we got the Electivire coming in for a Spirit Shackle. I was like, oh, nah, that's going to do heaps of damage. And that was actually a Choice Banded Metronome Electivire. So like, no wonder that didn't live right. So I thought it'd be a good idea here to go for the Terra Normal Azelf, because I didn't want to Electivire just living Self-Destruct. I needed to get rid of this because, yeah, with apparently the item was Choice Band. So if I let this hit me with any, even a neutral physical move would be very bad. So I outsped, thank goodness, and went for the Self-Destruct, and that is going to be the end of the Electivire. So this is good, right? This is quality stuff. So I was like, all right, we got more Soul here. It's time to go for Copycat. Self-Destruct. I'm ready to explode, and the next Pokemon is Meloetta. I'm like, oh, nah, this could be bad. So the Meloetta is going to be the Terra Pokemon. I'm thinking, oh, I don't know what this is going to be, but I had a feeling, and it's going to be Stellar. So with Metronome, if you don't know, Metronome is great with Stellar because you get to boost all the different kinds of moves there. Would you like to see a new Metronome team? I can use Stellar and some other cool stuff. Let me know in the comment section. Are you still watching at the moment? I hope you're enjoying yourself. Would you like to see that? So anyway, it outsped me, which sucked, and it got dived. So I think Morsol was thinking about it for a bit, how to dive into a solid surface. So we had dive, and it's going to miss. And then the Morsol is going to use dive, and I actually got some pretty good damage there on, better damage than none, right? Then we got basically a Metronome wall here. Now this is the problem, right? This Meloetta got pretty lucky. So it got a crit here, which did half my health. And I was like, all right, if I can get Spark and then get Actually, that's pretty unlucky now that I think about it, that they didn't get a paralyzed this Renegade. So I went for a paralyzed, didn't work. Then they used spit up. I'm like, oh, not that move. I was like, man, the only time, like, I don't want to get like swallow either. Anyway, so I went for that Tiny Boom's boosting move there, because I was thinking if I can get these boosts up, then they use an attacking move, and then I can copy it, right? Because copycat, I can't use copycat because it's going to copycat spit up or swallow, whatever the heck it was. Anyway, so here comes the move here. It's Blizzard, and I was like, oh no, I don't think I'm going to live this one. So here comes the Blizzard on the Morsol. Morsol lives on 2 health. I couldn't believe it. So then I got my copycat off, got the Blizzard, and Blizzard missed. I was like, man, there goes my chance of a freeze axe. So this Meloetta, right? It didn't attack me this turn. It used Growl, so I couldn't do anything. I could only go copycat Growl. So all I could hope for here was to get the Tidy Up and the Meloetta to use a physical move, right? And miss. That's what I was hoping for. So now the Meloetta is going to go for Metronome. I was hoping for a Healing Wish at this point, or Explosion. And then he used Dragon Claw. I'm like, oh, that's a move that I wanted like much earlier on. And Morsol is going to faint to that one. That, my friends, is the end of the Explosion team. I really hope you had a good time watching this. If you did, drop a like on the video, leave me a comment. If you're new, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.